Welcome to the Journey to Happy podcast, where you get concrete tools for mindset work, my best tips for lowering your anxiety. And you also hear funny and encouraging stories from me and others who have stories to share. Around here, you'll discover the easy way to stop overthinking, to get rid of self doubt, and finally embrace a calmer, more confident you. I am Olga, your host, a former therapist, a life coach, wife, blissfully an IVF mother, and a coffee lover. I'm excited that you tune in today, and I'm honored to be on the journey with you. Hey guys, welcome to episode 120 of the Journey to Happy podcast. I did hesitate. I'm not 100% sure that that's the right number, but I believe it is. I am Olga, your host. And as always, I want to take a quick moment to thank you so much for listening and for leaving me messages. I have really enjoyed the last reviews that some of you have left in the podcast, but I know I'm not hearing from all of you. So if you have heard the podcast, if you are a regular and you keep coming back, let me hear from you. Follow me on Instagram at olgas.web and send me a message. I would absolutely love to know you. I have so many things that I want to say in the next few episodes. I'm probably going to take some time purely talking about mindset. I have mindset work myself. I've had a lot of emotions come and go. I've been coaching and I'm ending right now coaching my group Reset the Mindset. So for those of you who are new to the podcast, I offer 3 products at all times. One is private coaching, that's called the Align program, and that's just one-on-one coaching. I coach a 12-week program called Reset Your Mindset, and that's an intimate group. We coach for 12 consecutive weeks. It's a mix between video coaching, where they watch a video on a particular day of the week, and the end of the week, we come together to coach as a group. So they talk to me and we go over the concept. So I'm about to end a 12-week program of Reset the Mindset. And I can never come to the end of these programs without feeling all the feelings. And the conversation today was so incredibly amazing. It was amazing to hear them talk about their progress in short 12 weeks. Some of these women went from having incredibly high self-doubt and anxiety to being able to have really triggering moments and still talk themselves out of having days of anxiety. They just had moments of anxiety and they were able to coach themselves out of that. Another one of them became very clear on what she needs to work next. And it was not what she thought she would. And so that self-discovery happens throughout those 12 weeks, which is fun. And 2 of them are actually joining me in my 3rd program that I offer, which is becoming the CEO of their own life. So now they have decided to go from 12 weeks of coaching. They love the result they're getting, and they're now jumping into a 12-month commitment, which is impressive. I commend them. I'm about to close this program, but if you're listening, just know that it opens up again in January. In January, I'm going to be opening up the doors, the next 12-week Reset Your Mindset program. So if life coaching is something that you've been looking to getting yourself into, that might be your program. Anyways, today's conversation was amazing because not only were we celebrating actual physical wins that they've had, but mindset wins. And I know every single one of these women joined because of their current circumstances, whether they were not feeling fully satisfied, not really prioritizing their needs themselves, and just wanting something better, but without the clear knowledge of what that would look like, or if they could, in fact, get somewhere better. And throughout the weeks, I saw them questioning and doubting and thinking, have I made enough progress? What I call the self-sabotage voice, wanting to get them. And today we were able to celebrate incredible, powerful shifts of mindset that now allow them to know, 1, that they're capable, and 2, concrete clarity on what is it that they really want. What is it that they really want to feel and experience? And so that leads me nicely to the conversation I really wanted to have with you guys today, which is current circumstances do not determine your future circumstances. This has been a really relevant subject to me, especially this week, because I had a photo shoot done. It was time to renew my photos for my website and my social media content. And I hired a photographer and I hired a woman who came to do my hair and my assistant's hair. And my sister in law, who's a makeup artist, came and she did our makeup. And so for a morning, we felt like movie stars, you know? Wow, what a privilege to have people running around just making you pretty and good. And I selected the clothing that I was going to use. And I was very intentional about what I wanted to wear and why and how. And we were selected, we rented a whole space to take the photos. And it was just a fun morning. And so I treated my assistant to lunch after. It just felt like a celebration. And we look pretty, so why not take ourselves out on a lunch date? And while we were there, we kind of had conversations that we wouldn't have had otherwise. You know, normally my assistant and I are talking about what are priorities, what needs to happen, and how do we get there. But recently, I've decided that anybody who works with me and for me will be coached by me and willing that they want to. And of course, she has an interest. So it brought us to different conversations. And she opened up and was telling me how her mind works and how she sometimes feels that she's not where she needs to be compared to other people, or like sharing where she's at in life and like the pockets that are really happy. There are also pockets of her life that might not be happy right now. And it brought me back to my own memory lane. We're walking around this mall. We kind of did some shopping. We, like I said, felt like movie stars for a moment. And then I was telling her, you know, there were times when I was walking the same mall weeks after I arrived to Canada. For those of you who don't know, I got here as a refugee fleeing conflict, persecution, political persecution in my country. My dad had been kidnapped. He was kept in captivity for 4 months. And when he was released, because we paid a ransom, he wrote a book. And a year after the book was published and was very popular, we began to get death threats by the same group that had him kidnapped, and they meant it. And so we had to leave our country and come to this beautiful country, Canada, that opened the doors to us, and I'll be forever thankful. And so we started our lives here, but it wasn't easy. We knew nothing about this culture. We didn't speak the language. We didn't have the connections or the lifestyle we used to have, which was great. We had a great lifestyle back home. And for me, that meant that I needed to begin to work because I didn't have parents who were now working and had access to funds. My sister and I began working at places where we could without speaking English. So obviously, cleaning. And so I started cleaning the classrooms of my college. And it never really bothered me. Before that, I was in law school. So I was already projecting myself to become a lawyer, like my mama. And so that's kind of like the self identity I had of me. And suddenly, in a change of weeks, I was the cleaner. I was cleaning classrooms, and I was in no university program because I spoke no English. I often said it's like I went back to kindergarten, where in my classes they were teaching me the colors and the numbers, and I was learning how to speak. So frustrating. If you can feel it in my voice. At the moment, it felt unfair and it felt uncalled for, and like, why is life doing this to us? But it felt like such a big change in the trajectory of my life, and it could have been easy. It was tempting to jump on the mindset that if these are my new circumstances, that these will forever be my circumstances. And in fact, I'll tell you this story because it's relevant. In one of the newcomer trainings that were offered to us as newcomers, there was a lot of guest speakers, all immigrants, sharing how they used to be doctors in their country or lawyers or have these incredible professions. And now they're cleaning floors or they're driving a taxi or they're doing other jobs, have nothing to do with their profession, and that was okay, that was the norm, that's what we should be aiming for. Otherwise, we will have a lot of frustration that our profession wouldn't be validated and that we'll have to go back to school and that will cost a lot of money. And that frustrated me, that there was a whole workshop to tell immigrants, get off that high horse and just be happy doing whatever job you can possibly get your hands to. But it got to me. And it was tempting to have a new identity, and that new identity be, okay, probably in this country, I will never be able to do the things that I was born to do. in my country. And so I am going to let those circumstances determine my future. I try to sit with that knowledge, with that intention to not have high dreams and aspirations. And it probably helped me to jump into the jobs I needed to do with ease. Like I was okay cleaning. I was totally okay. Like I was not a privileged girl who thought I can't clean. Not at all. I was happy I had a way to help my parents who had always been there for me. But here's what I never subscribed to. I never held in my heart and in my mind the belief that suddenly being an uneducated mute human, because I couldn't talk to anybody and express myself because I didn't speak either language of Canada, that would mean that I would for always not have a voice. That suddenly having to learn a new language and having to work the jobs that were available to me, not the jobs that I was capable or that I would like to have, it wasn't about what I wanted to do, it was about what I could do given my circumstances. I never let any of those jobs mean anything about me, who I was, my value, and most importantly, what the future held for me. You guys, I did every job that I could. As soon as my English was somewhat better, so within the first 9 months, I got myself a job, 3 months actually, at a Tim Hortons, which is the equivalent of like a Starbucks cafe. And I spoke very little English. So I would go to school 8 to 2 and 3 to 11 p.m. at night, I would be working at this cafe, getting all my orders wrong because I couldn't understand anything, having clients yell at me, supervisors get really frustrated at me. Nonetheless, I went every single day and I tried better. And I took it upon me to make the best possible coffees and to wrap up the best possible bagels. I made of this otherwise low paying job that was nothing nothing in line with being a lawyer the best place for me to be. I didn't let this become an annoyance because it meant that I wasn't capable of greater. I knew it was exactly what I needed in that moment to continue to learn the language. And I never stopped learning the language and I never stopped dreaming that I would get to great places. I simply saw it as part of my journey. Okay, I gotta do this. And these are my current circumstances, but they do not and they will not determine my future. When I got out of that workshop that was telling me to reframe my aspirations, to suddenly just bring them like 3 feet down, I said, no, thank you. I get to decide what my future looks like. So, what my circumstances are, that I am broke, that I no longer have parents who can support me, that I don't speak the language, that I'm in a complete different culture, that I don't know anyone or how to, that I will figure it out, that I will succeed, and that I will find my way exactly to where I want to. I get to determine how high I go. Nobody, and definitely not my current circumstances, will determine that for me. I was 19 years old when I got here. And so, yeah, I cleaned classrooms, I cleaned homes, I worked at a synagogue on Sundays. I did all the mute jobs that I could. Then I forced myself to speak by working at a Tim Hortons, regardless of the fact of being yelled and annoyed, not annoyed, harassed, like annoyed clients with me not getting the right coffee. I smiled, I wore my uniform, I did my job with pride. And although people told me, no wonder you're working here, when I got the wrong change because I didn't even know the coins, the amount, I would give them the wrong coins. It happened a few times and I will never forget this guy. I was so insulted that I gave him, I don't know, a loonie instead of a toonie or something like that. He insulted me by saying, you can't do math, no wonder you're doing this job. And I was able to look at him with so much compassion. And although I didn't have the language to explain to him, I was in fact very intelligent, that I only just didn't speak the language. I just smiled at him and wish him a happy day. Why? Because I knew where I belonged. I knew my value didn't have nothing to do with where I was or anybody's opinions about my job. Fast forward 9 months after arriving, I got accepted into a school of social work, which was not an easy task. And they accepted me under the condition that I kept learning English because my English test was not great. And how could it have been? And so I continued to study English, to translate word by word every single one of my textbooks, to record all of my classes and re listening to them so that I could get the concept over and over. And I began working at the university as a TA. Now I'm teaching business students how to speak Spanish. Right on. I got to use my tools. Great. I speak this language. I can definitely teach it to somebody. And then I worked at the library and I got to interact with more students. And it was terrifying to be in the School of Social Work because I had to do presentations and I had to write essays. And it required that I had a better knowledge of and use of the language. And it forced me. It got me out of my comfort zone. And although it was easy to quit and say, listen, my English is not good enough to do this, once again, I didn't let my circumstances in the moment determine that I was never going to improve. Look at me now. Do I have an accent? Yes. Do I make mistakes? All the time. But it's my main job to communicate with people. Yep. And do I communicate my message? Uh-huh. Because I never really let my circumstances mean that they were never going to change. So here's what I want to offer you today. I have so many stories like the ones I just shared, in which my circumstances were not where I wanted to be. In fact, they fell far, far away from where I wanted to be. Nonetheless, I saw them like if somebody throws a brick at you, you stand on it and you're like, hey, I'm just making steps to get to where I want to. That's exactly how it felt. When I was giving birth to my son, I was in labor for 4 days. For those of you who have given birth, you can feel my pain. 4 days trying to labor this baby. And when he was finally kind of coming down, he decided to look to where he was going. And no baby can be born face first. So I needed a C-section. And my mom, who had been with me the entire time, came to me and asked me, why is it that nothing comes with ease for you? Why is it that everything that you really want, you have to work so freaking hard at it? She genuinely felt it was unfair that I had to work 5 years to get my baby, that I'm finally in labor for 4 days. And yet again, there's another mountain. We need a C-section. He might be good, he might not. We got to find out. And I looked at my mom and I said, Mom, I've seen the future. He's fine. He'll be with us. I know that. So here's what I have to offer you. Your current circumstances might be less than ideal, might be incredibly far from where you want to be. Do not give that a meaning. Do not let that become a forever. You are the boss. You are the director of your movie, and your movie is your life. You direct it. You can quiet down the sounds around you, the people who tell you you can't, or you can add the volume. You can volume them up and be like, okay, they're right. Had I done that, I would probably be still cleaning and forget about my big dreams of helping everybody I can possibly help. Listen, guys, I honor every single job. I think every job is honorable and important. I encourage everybody to go to their full potential and do what makes them happy. Not what you think you can do, which is based on limited beliefs that you might have about yourself, but to try even harder for your dream, for what really you absolutely love to do. I was in grade 5. A teacher asked, what did I want to do when I grew up? And I said, I want to help people. He told me, you don't make a living helping people. You have to find something else. I never forgot those words. But I remember thinking, I'll make a living. He'll be laughing now. Look who's laughing now. Not only do I make a living, I get to live the life of my dreams. I make more than a living. And I can give to others in so many ways because I've designed this life of mine. And I've never let any of my circumstances become a forever. Now, it is our responsibility to understand where we want to go, exactly where we want to go, not just a vague idea. Not just to say, I want to be happy. Okay, how exactly? How happy? What area of your life is happy? How do you experience happy? So because I always want to give you tools, guys, I want you to pay attention to your current circumstances. And then I want you to notice your own judgment of your current circumstances. What are you making your circumstances mean to you? Do you secretly believe that they're never going to change? For example, your marriage, maybe it's going through hosting stage where nothing is really exciting, where nothing is really all that good, or maybe it's not good at all. Are you telling yourself already on a constant, this is never going to change, this is never going to get better? These circumstances are showing me that this is going to be a forever. If your job is feeling heavy and right now, you like it, but it's just not it, something is going on, are you already telling yourself, oh, this is never going to change? this means I'm never going to get the job that I want. If you just got denied something, a visa or a promotion or a boyfriend left you, are you telling yourself, I'm never going to be loved? I'm never going to get the promotion. I'm never going to get to visit that place. I'm never going to get the money that I need because that's what's in my current circumstances. If that is you, know that you need mindset work. That's all. You need to look at your circumstances as a moment in time, something that can be changed and modified because the circumstance that you're going through right now, you co-created it. Trust me, that was a hard one to believe when I was here because my dad had been kidnapped and wrote a book and got death threats. It was a hard one to accept, but I now know that it was in perfect timing, that all those things were meant to be, were part of my story because I was supposed to be here, because I was supposed to change careers. I would be a lawyer right now, and I don't know that I would have been a happy lawyer. I definitely think that I would have changed careers at some point. But could have I ever been a life coach living where I was? Probably not. Not right away. Not like I am now. Maybe it would have taken me longer. Anyways, it's a waste of time to think that way. Do you see my point? What we got to do is recognize our circumstances are what they are, and then do not let that become the meaning of your future, but choose wisely. What would I want to see? So the first step here is to gain clarity on exactly what you want and don't be vague. Don't give yourself an answer as to, I want a baby. I want a healthy baby boy. I want a healthy baby girl. I honestly want both, a baby girl and a baby boy. I want, so specific. Don't just say, I want a partner. Is that a man? Is that a woman? Is that tall? Is that short? Is that wealthy? Is that lazy? Who? Just anyone? Really? You just want anyone? No, be specific. And here's where I think most people feel afraid of being specific because they don't want to be disappointed. BS, I call BS. Be as specific as you want to be because you want to be able to think about it and experience what it would be like to be there in that place where that's already here for you. Every job I did, I knew I was going to do something great with my life. I knew every job opportunity, every life experience was teaching me something that was somehow going to serve me well. And you bet all of my life experience have come to be so handy when I'm coaching others because I can relate. I can relate to so many humans and their suffering because I've suffered from so many different perspectives. And the fact that I've been able to do this work, that I've been able to coach myself, not knowingly, and now I can put names to what I was doing that was bringing me to success, has allowed me to bring the results I've had to people at a much faster speed. They don't have to suffer all the way through if they find me. I can fast forward healing and progress and knowledge and shift their mindset so that they are in control of their life. So once you get clear on exactly what you want, I need you to write down all of your doubts about it because those are your obstacles. So you want to know, if I know exactly what I want, and like you dream and you feel so happy. It's like when you watch a happy movie, you finish that movie and you can run a half marathon. You feel like the world is a beautiful place. You might eat all the pizza that you can find. You're like, yes, life is good. And that's a great feeling. But when you watch that movie, you call your parents and tell them you love them. You look around, you're like, my God, I'm so grateful for where I live. I'm so grateful for the husband I have. So grateful for my health. Whatever that inspire you in that movie. So it's so important to have both of those emotions, the happy emotions and the sad emotions, and we give them the meaning, right? So you now know exactly what you want to have. And from there, you're going to look at the obstacles your mind has brought to that. So if what you want to have is $1 million in the bank account, notice all the other thoughts that accompany you with that one. Oh, I don't think I can. Oh, but I'm just a life coach. Nobody will pay that. Oh, but all the thoughts, and write them down. Those are your obstacles. Those are your current circumstances. Don't let them mean anything about your future. You choose. So you can look at what you want, at the thoughts you currently have about what you want. And then you can step in as the boss, the CEO, and say, hey, what do I want my current circumstances mean about my future? Something? Nothing? Can they be powerful thoughts about it? Like my current circumstances are helping me get there? And then I want you to spend some quality time thinking, imagining, feeling, tasting what it would be like to already be where you want to in that exact place. What it would be like to already have the exact amount of money you want in the bank account. What will you be doing with that money? Explore that. What will you be doing once you move to that house of your dreams? How many rooms would it have? Imagine what it would feel like to walk around this place and look and be like, whoa, this is my house. And what would it feel like to host your family at that house? Spend time there. And then ask yourself, what inspired action can I now take? What would make sense for me to do today with my current circumstances that will get me one step closer to where I really want to go? And operate from that place of, I am already there. I felt that energy versus the, oh God, I'm full of fears and doubts. I don't know that what I want. Look, I'm looking around and all I see is evidence that I can't have it. You see my point? So there's not a lot of steps, but you just got to do them. And every time you're disappointed that your current circumstances aren't exactly what you want, can you imagine and bring yourself, visit your future often as you want it, not as you don't want it. We do that already often enough. We are constantly looking at the future as we don't want it. And we're like, oh my God, no, I don't want that. But we think about it all the time. So you're doing the same work, but to create different results. Instead of thinking about your lacks and what you don't want and what you're afraid of, you're going to think exactly what you want. And you are going to make a promise to yourself right after you listen to this that you are no longer going to let your current circumstances mean anything about your future. Use me as an example of that. 19 winters ago, I was just a refugee girl who spoke no English, had no connections, and was on welfare. Today, I own my business. I'm happily married. I speak English fluently. I understand French mostly. Beautiful son. I invest in real estate and I have more homes than I'll ever need. And that was all part of my greater, bigger plan. I help more people than I ever thought I could. I have reached more people with my work than I ever could have imagined. I've transformed the lives of women and men in ways I didn't think I could. All because I didn't let past circumstances mean anything about me, my value, what I came to this world to offer. I am not an extraordinary human. I am an ordinary woman who decided to not make of her current circumstances anything other than a stepping stone to where she wants to go. And I currently am doing that because I've got great goals and I'm going to accomplish them. And I'm going to come and walk you through every step of the way. Promise you that. Whatever your circumstances are, know that the future is not to be built by you. It does not exist. You create it with your thoughts, with your actions, with your feelings. You, nobody else, you. Now go create something amazing and tell me what you created. I would absolutely love to hear the story. Interested in giving life coaching a try? Here's your opportunity to do so in a short period of time. My Reset Your Mindset program is starting in January of 2022. This is an intimate group coaching program that combines live coaching calls and video training. You receive weekly lessons through video and you receive weekly support through Zoom calls with me. This time around, I'm also gifting participants with lifetime access to Detox the Mind online course, a course that emphasizes on helping you create new neurological connections so that you have a happier mind and healthier habits. You can grab your spot by going into the show notes and signing up. We meet for 12 consecutive weeks on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, this program focuses on three main points: creating awareness, setting up boundaries, increasing your confidence. The Reset Your Mindset formula helps you with making decisions with ease, set clear boundaries without drama or guilt, stopping the hamster wheel that keeps you in overthinking mode, switching the mean inner voice for one of confidence and compassion. You will let go of unattainable expectations and you will be at ease with who you are. Get ready to say goodbye to a constant list of comparisons, to all of the thinking that leads to worry and overwhelm. You will begin to prioritize yourself and you will feel finally connected to you and to others at a very deep level. 12 coaching calls once a week, 12 weeks, 12 mindset videos, plus the bonus of a lifetime access to bestseller course Detox the Mind. If this calls your name, if you have been curious about working with me, if you want to say goodbye to your limiting beliefs, understand their root cause and change them for once and for all so that you can step into that better version of you, anxious free, confident, clear on what you want and who you are, I invite you to participate. There are only 12 spots available. First come, first served. See you inside.